What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Pablo, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a story that's coming out of Pontiac, Michigan, about a girl named Kelly Bryant, 34 years of age, and she's left her 3 abandoned kids in the house by themselves, living in squalor and filth. Let's get into the video.
A woman is charged with first-degree child abuse in the case of those 3 children who were found to be severely neglected for years in Pontiac. They were living inside this home among piles of garbage and human waste. Investigators say their mother had cut them off from the outside world, essentially. Will Jones is following this case tonight. He's live in Pontiac with the very latest. Will.
Ty, it is such a sad story. Police say those kids lived at that house here in Pontiac for years, all by themselves. Police say their mother, Kelly Bryant, left them there. Her son only left the house twice in the last several years to check the mailbox. The girls never left the home.
Okay, pause for a second. So you all see the townhouse that the kids were living in, and they're closely conjoined with other townhouses. How did nobody smell that coming out of the house? I don't understand how nobody smelled it.
Investigators say the mother told the kids not to leave the house.
What stands out the most for me is no love. There was nobody there to care for them for between 3 and 4 years. No parent, nobody physically present to let them know that they were safe and they were loved.
Their years-long nightmare at this home in Pontiac ended last week on Valentine's Day. While conducting a welfare check for missed rent payments, police discovered a 15-year-old boy and his 2 sisters, ages 12 and 13, living in filth with no parental supervision.
The children were afraid to come out of their hiding places and to speak with the police. Police had to repeatedly advise the children that they were there to help and they were safe. The children's bodies and clothing were covered in feces, and the girls had difficulty physically walking outside of the residence.
Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald says Kelly Bryant moved out of the home several years ago, leaving the kids to basically fend for themselves, only having food dropped off occasionally.
The defendant took the active...
Pause for a second. And where was she staying? That's what I want to know. Did she move out and get another place on her own? Was she staying with a man? Was she staying with a woman? Like, where was she at?
Steps of lying and concealing to make sure the children went undiscovered, and she took these actions knowing that her children would suffer serious physical and emotional harm as a result.
The children shared with investigators about what they experienced and why they did not seek out help.
All 3 children expressed fear about what their mother's response would be if they left the home.
The 3 kids are staying with family right now. Brian does have another child who lives with their father. Brian is scheduled to be in court tomorrow for an arraignment. So,
wait a second. So, the 3 kids now are staying with family members. Where were those family members when these whole 4 years? The family members didn't ask about them? Was she not going around the family? Like, where were they at? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if I'm a... Then she has 4 kids. 1 kid is with the father. I wonder...
We are likely to learn more details then. So many questions remain about this case. We are live in Pontiac. Will Jones, Local 4.
You said it, Will. Just so sad, this whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Will Jones, for that clip. Okay, I just have so many questions. My main question is, where was she? Where was the family? Because I'm not understanding how nobody was asking her about these kids. I don't get it. Like, nobody asked, girl, where your kids at? She never went around to family functions. Where's her mother? Where's her dad? Are they alive? I mean, does she have siblings? Okay, I got another clip that we're going to get into.
Carolyn, now to the latest in the case of a mother accused of abandoning her 3 kids for years in a Pontiac home. Well, today, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald charged their mother with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse. The prosecutor says that the children suffered unimaginable abuse, living in a, quote, revolting pit of refuse and squalor. Earlier today, employees from the Oakland County Sheriff's Department cleaned out the space, those employees wearing hazmat suits to do the job. 7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels has more on the charges and what comes next.
For nearly 5 years, we are told that 3 children lived abandoned inside of this Pontiac home, surrounded by mold and feces. Well, today we learned that the mother who allegedly created this nightmare could face up to life in prison.
The children's bodies and clothing were covered in feces.
Wednesday, Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald charged 34-year-old Kelly Marie Bryant with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse.
This is the most serious charge for child abuse, and if convicted, Ms. Bryant could face a sentence of up to life in prison.
It is alleged that Bryant left her 3 children, 2 sisters, ages 12 and 13, and their brother, age 15, living in this Pontiac home, abandoned for nearly 5 years, occasionally dropping off food or having it delivered.
In 2019, suspect Kelly Bryant was living at the home in Pontiac, Michigan with her 4 children. At some point between 20 and 2021, the suspect moved out of her home, leaving 3 of her children abandoned in that location, while 1 of her children went to live with their father.
According to McDonald, Bryant told the children to never answer the door or leave. The children were finally discovered during a wellness check for the mother this past Friday. McDonald shared that police were horrified to find anyone living in these conditions. Feces, mold, and trash covering the home and the terrified children. Their hair was matted, toenails overgrown, and the 2 girls struggling to walk.
The children were afraid to come out of their hiding places and to speak with the police. Police had to repeatedly advise the children that they were there to help and they were safe.
When we returned to the home Wednesday, we found officials in hazmat suits working to clean the unit.
At the hospital, the children struggled with completing basic hygiene tasks like flushing a toilet and brushing their teeth because they had not done it in years.
Bryant allegedly lied to family members about the children's whereabouts for years. However, prosecutor McDonald says that does not mean no one else will be charged in the children's abuse in the future.
Morally, there is plenty of responsibility to go around for how this was allowed to happen. However, these 3 kids were entrusted to the care of their mother, Kelly Bryant, and the evidence suggests that she effectively abandoned them to a revolting pit of refuse and squalor.
In Pontiac, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.
Just unbelievable. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Very unbelievable. I got one more clip I'm going to share with you.
Looking at all of the evidence tonight in the case of 3 Pontiac kids abandoned for years.
Evidence like these disturbing photos of their living conditions, they'll be used to make charging decisions.
The investigation also uncovered gaps in the school code that allowed the kids to be absent for so long without alarm.
7 News Detroit reporter Brett Cast is digging into a proposed change in state law that might have made a difference. Brett?
Well, formal charges have not yet been filed against the mother, but Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald tells us tonight that this is a top priority, and they are still combing through several gigabytes of evidence. Meanwhile, Sheriff Bouchard is calling for a change in state law.
I have never in my 60 years of living heard of nobody not checking on nobody.
It's a case that shocked Metro Detroit. 3 young siblings found in soiled clothes, abandoned for years, living in a home filled with mold, trash, and feces.
You wouldn't do this to an animal, let alone your child.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard revealed that besides their mother, it appears no one knew about the kids' situation. They were left without hygiene supplies, and food was only periodically delivered. The sisters, ages 12 and 13, were sleeping on pizza boxes, and their 15-year-old brother was the only one who went outside just twice in 5 years.
How did we lose 3 kids? How'd they fall through the system?
Sheriff Bouchard says the kids hadn't been enrolled in school since 2020, and miscommunication caused them to fall through the cracks.
A school district in this case received a request for records from another school in Pontiac, but no verification the children ever moved to that school. And so at some point, when they didn't show up, they were just dropped off the enrollment of the school that sent the transcripts. So no one knew that they were nowhere.
Bouchard says he's now talking to a state lawmaker to sponsor a bill in Lansing that he says could prevent this from happening again.
Before a child is unenrolled, they have to obtain written confirmation that child's someplace else. That doesn't happen now.
I've talked to a few of my colleagues already, those who are on these relevant committees, the education committee and whatnot. And this is a concept that's worth exploring.
State Senator Jeremy Moss represents Pontiac, and while he hasn't heard directly from Bouchard, he says he's open to the idea.
If the sheriff, as he has more information about this investigation, believes that this is the gap, this is something that would have prevented this situation, then yes, we should absolutely be exploring, is this something that we can strengthen in the law?
We can do all we can on the federal level to mitigate this, the state level, and even the local level. But we need our community to come back.
All right, that was that clip, you guys. Another question I was just thinking about is, so I know it was getting mail there. I know the mail had to pile up because they said the kids didn't come out of the house, but the boy came out to check it one time. So mail piling up for 4 years. Was somebody coming by checking the mail? Like, when mail piles up, people think somebody not living there. Then the landlord, you had checked on your house in that long. I can understand that the final reason why you went by there because she hadn't paid rent in a couple of months. But still, most landlords go check or do some type of inspection at least once a year or every 2 years or something. I got some information on her bond that I'm going to read to you all before I check out of here. 1 second. Okay, I'm getting this information from USA Today. It says $250 million bond for mother charged with child abuse, judge says. A Michigan mother who allegedly abandoned her 3 children and forced them to live in squalor alone for 4 years is being detained on a $250 million cash bond, a massive amount more commonly seen in cases involving high-profile or wealthy defendants. The mother, 34-year-old Kelly Bryant, was charged with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse this week after Oakland County Sheriff's deputies discovered her children ages 12, 13, and 15 alone in what officials have described as horrifying living conditions. At an arraignment Thursday, 50th District Court Judge Rhonda Folks-Gross said she set the multi-million-dollar cash-only bond because she was concerned Bryant may try to stop her children from cooperating with authorities from jail. Should the court find out that you are sending messages to engage in further fear tactics and intimidation of the children, your phone privileges will be removed, Gross said. Gross added that she also considers the mother to be a danger to any minor children, including her own 3 children involved in this case. I do find her an acute risk and danger to the community, Gross said, offering the high bond. The $250 million bond raised eyebrows among many in the legal profession. High bond has been set for parents accused of abandoning their children before. A Texas woman, Gloria Williams, was held on a $1.5 million bail after being arrested for making 3 of her children live alone for more than a year in a bug-infested apartment with the decomposing body of their 8-year-old sibling. Now, I don't know about this case. According to the Houston Chronicle, Williams was sentenced to 50 years in prison in November. Bonds in the hundreds of millions of dollars are sometimes seen with high-profile or wealthy defendants. Former billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried, for example, was initially released on a $250 million personal recognizance bond, which federal prosecutors described at the time as perhaps the largest ever, before he was found guilty of stealing billions from customers of the cryptocurrency exchange he founded and sentenced to 25 years in prison in March. Okay, so we get the gist. So she's got on bond. No, well, has a $250 million bond. We know she's not going to be able to make that, so she'll be sitting until her court date. But we're going to stay updated on this story because this is just one we got to stay updated because I'm pretty sure some of the family's going to come out, neighbors going to come out, people that know her are going to come out. The more this case evolves, we're going to find out who Kelly Bryant really is. So I'm going to go ahead and check out of here on that one. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.